way we're doing it is, it might be old school,
Yeah.
and it might not be everyone's favorite, but with
Yeah.
all due respect to everyone, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
We're going through it, and we're going to do it the way we need to do it. And yeah, it's tough.
Welcome to the Banter, brought to you by Berserk Athletics for all your team custom uniform needs. Fly jerseys like this. I'm Dave. That's Hobbsy. What's going on, my man? How's the week been?
Oh, busy. How's yours been?
Oh, man, it's been crazy, crazy hectic.
Yes,
My
sir.
friend, we are in Super Bowl weekend.
Yep.
Are you getting pumped for the game?
Peep the techno sheet.
Nice. Nice. Man, I tell you what, man, before we get into that, man, I'm gonna go off grid again and
Fuck it.
talk some life stuff for a second.
All right.
Man, let me ask you this.
All right.
Ourselves through this whole fatherhood thing. Do you think, as fathers, stepfathers, fathers, that we put too much pressure or stress on our kids to perform, do well, as far as like school or, I mean, anything, performing, sports wise, plays, band?
Well, I think. Well, I think it's perspective. So we already, as you and me have talked about before, come into things uh, with our. I wouldn't want to. How do I say it? Our shoulders are heavy from the get go. There's a lot of pressure on us, and whether it be from the new family, you're like I am. Obviously, we hold ourselves in a guard in regards in a type of way where we expect to be good at it,
Yeah.
and we want to be good at it. We don't want to fail at it, and I think with that comes where we're going with that is maybe sometimes I feel like in that when it comes to the kids, there are times where we may overcompensate a little bit.
Yeah.
And by you know what I mean? By that I mean maybe go a little too hard on them. But I never look at it as it's coming from the wrong place, and it's part of what we signed up for, is what I remind myself. So
Yeah.
that I never look at it in a light where it's too much. I mean, and you and me are both smart enough to know that what's too much is like it's pretty obvious when you're going too far. But it's easy for a kid to be sensitive to it because it is coming from the bonus dad or the bonus parent where it comes off as too much and it's heavy. But I don't feel like on a regular basis that I don't feel like I can't speak for everybody, but I know how I don't feel like when I am going too hard on them there are times, don't get me wrong, where my expectations are pretty heavy, and I understand that, and it's not that I lay onto them to a point where I want anybody to cry or anything, but I feel like our jobs as dads is we have to be the bad guy sometimes. Like mom's always going to be mom, and that's especially as a bonus dad or in vice versa a bonus mom. The real mama there or whoever they've been with is usually going to have a little that sensitive side that we don't necessarily have all the time, or we see it straight in because we haven't been there the whole time. So like we're a different set of eyes on the situation, where as a protective mom or a protective dad that's been there the whole time, they sometimes will think it's too much, but it's not too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, long story short, I'm kind of all over the place with this, but I think you're getting what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
It's hard to really put it into words because you can't just cut and dry it because an immediate parent might not see it like we do because they're not in that same situation
Yeah.
like directly. So perfect example for me is when you ask that. So like I have one that struggles with homework,
Oh,
and
going
and I
through
am yeah, and I am there ain't no other way of putting it. I'm an asshole about it. Like I'm not sensitive to it because I
that.
feel like they get too much.
We're going through the same boat
Yep,
where all this is coming about right now.
yep. I get I don't have that sensitivity to the fact that you know I can get extra credit for it. Well, I understand that it might be extra credit or you can turn it in later, but that
Yeah.
leads to further shit down the road that turns into if you go to work or sports or anything. I'll get to it later is not how we fucking do it.
I
That's not it. You
I
do it. So that's a big thing there is you do it now and you don't put it off.
it's like, man, you were inside my head because that's about where this was coming from.
Yeah,
Because you, like you said, it's they think they could put it off. They think they can turn it in late. It's going to be okay. They're going to make up for it. I always look at it and say, why put yourself in that hole?
exactly. It's hard to
Why
get out of,
why even get that D or that F, that missing assignment to begin with?
right?
You know, why set yourself up for failure
Exactly.
when you can start off, not having to fail? And, I think I sit back sometimes and wonder if I'm too hard because I'm trying to push him to make sure he gets good grades. I mean, the
Right.
kid's no dummy. And it irritates me to all ends. And I'm sure, myself, yourself, and a lot of other parents feel this way. It's like your kid's smart, but when you see them do stupid shit or stuff that they know they can do it and not, it irritates me. And then I
Absolutely.
start to beat myself up thinking, am I making a mistake? Am I failing him because I'm putting too much pressure on him? Am I failing him because I'm not being sensitive enough to the situation? And that's hard because we're pretty old school. And I know our generation, my generation especially, when you had a late assignment, you got an F on the grade.
Exactly.
There was no, or if you had the chance to redo it, you redid it, but you were only getting partial credit for it.
Yeah.
Um, the whole studying for test, it's like they pretty much lay it all out there for these kids nowadays.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, they make it as simple as possible. And I think that goes back to the last episode, speaking with Dut, how they are, how he said, like, the administrations have a certain way to do things.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm like, is that helping kids or is that hurting kids in the long run, like you said? Where is it when they have a job or they continue on to play a sport or whatever it is in the future, that whole mentality is it's okay, I can just do it later and it's going to be okay.
I right now especially we're going through it and it's a big deal right now because
Yes.
with my middle one, she's a freshman. Uh, she loves to cheerlead. Well,
Uh-huh.
fast forward 7th grade, she cheerled, and she loved it. Fast forward to last year, the grades went to shit. And I
Uh-huh.
mean, by shit, they went to shit. The girl's plenty smart. It would be funny. She would say she doesn't know how to do something, and then come out here and us being a little smarter would
Uh-huh.
trick her, and she would literally tell us how to do exactly what she was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
And it became more of a, I'll do it later or I'll put it off and mom won't notice. is what
Yeah.
we ran into. Well, funny thing about that is that's the thing about kids. It don't matter if they're, once they're old enough to figure it out a little bit, they always think they're the smartest one in the room. They forget that the parents are there.
Yeah.
So that try to trick them shit, they do it all the time. You do the same song and dance. And I got to the point where I gave her every opportunity possible to get it right. And I know she struggles, and and I wasn't trying to be insensitive. And Ashley and her nanas are more sensitive to her, obviously. So I feel like there's always going to be that good cop bad cop role, and
Yeah.
unfortunately I've had to take on the bad cop role, and it has to be done.
Yeah.
So in teaching her accountability, I made it very clear that if she worked and she wanted to cheerlead, the grounding from the phone didn't work. This and that didn't work. Grounding from the TV didn't work. So I'm like, okay, you know, in my thought process is you get, I remember being young, and I know they're different now, but I put off a lot of stuff, and then to get my attention, you had to threaten to take away the most important stuff to me.
Yes.
So when it became that, it became an accountability thing. And
Yes.
that's how me and Ashley had talked about it a lot, and I made it clear. I'm like, I've given you every opportunity to get your grades up,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't. And I warned you of this for about 6 months. I
Yeah.
told you if you did not grab the bull by the horns, ask for help, tell us you needed help, try to, we tried about everything we could. And if she didn't put the effort into it, then there wasn't going to be cheerleading.
Yeah.
And fast forward, there wasn't. Now we're in the same boat again as freshmen. She first chance to be a high school cheerleader.
Uh-huh.
And believe me, I absolutely want her to be there. I want her to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it goes to accountability. She got a couple bad grades, and I set her down right after Christmas break. I said, "You've got the 2 grades." Ashley, me explain to her, "True, you have here to get this up. You're in
Yep.
high school now. Now it's credits.
Mm-hmm.
This is stuff you're going to have to repeat to get out of high school. It's not like in middle school where you magically always pass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?" So I'm like, this is on you now. This is you're a freshman in high school. You need to 110% learn accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And I explain it to her with the cheerleading. So that right now we're working on that. But I always explain it like this, Dave. I always tell them this put it off, I'll do it later shit. What it affects for them now is not what it'll affect down the road, and they won't understand it until it hits them in the face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I try to explain, like, guys, right now, when you're a kid, the world is easy.
Mm-hmm.
It is so easy, and I'm like, and for some fortunate people and lucky people, their parents they make it easy for them long into out of school.
Yeah.
You know, I speak from experience. In my early 20s, my mom made sure it was super easy for me. I never had to stress about it. And that's not the case with everybody. And
Yeah.
in most cases, you don't want it to be for anybody. You want the kids to be able to go out and do their thing,
Yeah.
and be all they can be. Not like you want them to be great, cut and dry. So I explained them to them like this. I'm like, look, this is how a credit card works. Here's this credit card. They give it to you. You have this money. It's all right there for you to spend. Now, if you spend all this money and then you don't pay it back, and you keep telling yourself, "Oh, I'll get to it. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it. I'll get to it later."
Yeah.
Before you know it, your ass is in debt. Then you can't buy a car.
Yep.
Then you're getting your ass called. Then you can't get your own place. Then you can't do this. I go, it's like a dog or a puppy too. Oh, I'll take care of it later. If you don't feed it, what happens to it?
Yeah.
If you don't take care of it, it dies. It's a plant. It's anything. And I'm like, guys, this is homework is the easiest part of your entire life as you get older. You're
Yeah.
going to wish when you get to our age, you're going to wish that the hardest thing you ever had to do was your homework.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
it sucks because there's, and I know where you come from. Like you question, am I being too much? Is
Yeah.
is this a rebellion against me now? Is this just because I'm pushing them that they're putting so much pressure on themselves to do it? And
Yeah.
then or is it? And it's never there's. I tell myself that I have to stay steady. The
Uh-huh.
If I'm going to be the bad cop, I have to consistently be the bad cop on the matters that require me to be so.
But don't you get tired of feeling like you need to be the bad cop?
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because yeah, that's where I think what's great, and it sounds kind of twisted in the head, but if we can't get through being the bad cop,
Mm-hmm.
then if we don't stay consistent, then we're following the footsteps of what they don't have that's consistent.
Yeah.
They
I
already have a dad in both of our cases. I think that I bet you money you're in the same boat I am. I'm willing to bet the last thing on a regular basis that their father asked them about is, do you have good grades? How's homework going?
oh yeah.
So if that means I have to have that pressure on me,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of it. And I hate it. It sucks. It eats at you because you feel like a dick, and you're like, I don't want to have to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to tell yourself in the long run, you're doing it for the right reasons. And
Yeah.
that's the constant battle is telling yourself that no matter who else sees it that way, you have to stay true to yourself and just do what you think is the best thing you can do for them. And I feel like you're doing it, and I try to think the way we're doing it is it might be old school
Yeah.
and it might not be everyone's favorite, but with
Yeah.
all due respect to everyone, fuck everyone.
Yeah.
We're going through it and we're going to do it the way we need to do it. And yeah, it's tough. And I hate it too. There are times I've told Katie a couple times, I'm like, I don't want to have to do this. I want one day for you to come in, have all your shit back,
Yeah.
just turn the leaf over and be like, and not have to worry about it anymore. I don't want to have to stress over it for you.
I
I want you to do it.
I think part of what I feel is you want these kids to care about it and
Yes.
understand it, but
Yes.
they get so easily to say I don't. It's like they have that I don't give a fuck attitude about it.
Exactly.
Kind of like how you went back and said, um, we can make up the test, we can make up the homework, we can retake the test. It's I can go ahead and fix my grade later and
Yeah.
not just deal about it now.
There's too
You know,
many options to put shit off,
yeah.
and there shouldn't be.
And with me, it's like I was told is what happens is now I feel personally like I'm failing him, but in reality, it's because I have a tendency to try to overcompensate for what else is missing from his life. And therefore, it's like I get so tired of playing bad cop that every once in a while I want to play good cop.
Yeah.
And then what happens is now you play into them because now you're giving them,
Yeah.
stuff, that they should be earning. But
Yep.
at the same time, I think where we handicap ourselves with kids, and I'm guilty of it, is I want to give my kids everything I didn't have. And so I'm about giving them pretty much the world and not thinking of the repercussions of what it's going to cause.
Right?
Because, baby girl's spoiled, he's spoiled. It's like all I'm asking you is to work hard, get through high school.
Yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
not asking you to go into college. I'm just asking you graduate with the diploma from high school. And then
Right.
afterwards, you want to go to trade school, if you want to start working, you want to go into college, we'll face that right now. But let's just get you through middle school and high school. And then after that, we'll figure out the rest of life. You're coming to adulthood.
Absolutely.
But, I the way you said it, is like these kids have every opportunity to just put it off. And sometimes I think I put a lot of pressure on myself because I don't want them to fail.
Absolutely.
I don't want him to fail because the last thing you ever want to do is see your kids fail. But at the same time, you give them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I've threatened taking away sports. I've threatened taking away everything out of the room, leaving a mattress,
Right.
a few items of clothing.
Yeah.
Say if you keep on down this path,
Yeah.
you're going to end up some places. This is all where you're going to have.
Yeah.
And really pulled out the heavy gun this past week where it was military school was thrown out there. Because it's like if I can't get you to do and follow my rules that are pretty simple, then we're going to put you in a place who is stricter than I am.
Yeah.
And hopefully they help turn you around.
Right.
So,
There is I feel, and you and me are perfect examples of males that have huge sensitive sides. I don't know how many tears I busted out on here with you, like since
yeah,
we've been doing this. You
yeah,
know, I cry at sad movies. I did. You know, I things break my heart all the time, like
yeah,
make me tear up. The older I get, the worse it gets.
yeah,
But at the same time, when it comes to the kids, I will let down my guard. I'll love them unconditionally, and I will be
yep,
fun with them. I will be their best friend in the world. I'll be the dad they need. But at the same time, I will never, ever, ever lose that side of me
yeah,
that reminds them that there is a stern line where we don't play fuck around and find out because it's for you, not for me.
yeah,
And I explain it as well as I can, even if it takes me hours to them. I
yeah,
will sit there and say, I am not trying to be a bad guy or just be a bully stepdad or anything like that. I
uh-huh,
know how great you're going to be. I know how great you can be. I know that it's right there in front of you. And I know that I can't do that for you as much as I want to hold your hand the whole time. There's going to be a day, say, we're not exactly a poster of health,
yeah,
or the world's just crazy like that. Say there's a day that we can't help them,
mm-hmm,
and or say that the rest of the families can't hold their hand because they have their own shit to deal with.
yeah,
There's going to come a time when we need to be able to be, and you said this, you need to be able to, for your kids, same here, I need to be able to know they're going to be okay.
yeah,
And part of that is if I have to be an ass along the way a little bit and push them that way, and even if it means Jesus Christ, I'm tired of being a bad guy. Somebody has to stay that fucking constant. You have to stay that constant. You have to find that line, and
yeah.
that's what I struggle with. That line, man. It's like because it's tiring. It's fucking
Very,
exhausting.
very. It's tiring. It's exhausting. It's draining
It is
mentally, emotionally, because I know me. I want to, I want to be hard, but not too hard.
right,
I
right.
want them to understand that, like you said, like working on grades is going to be probably one of the easiest things you do in life.
Ever, ever.
It's like, yeah, there's times I wish I could go back and have the responsibilities of just trying to get a homework assignment done.
I would trade every fucking part of my last, my I would go on for days. For how long? I mean, I
you
wouldn't
know,
trade my life for the world, but I tell you what, I would go back there and do a lot of things different to get to where I'm at right now in the same boat.
mhm. But yeah, man, it's been a crazy week as far as dealing with this type of stuff. Um, I think it's hard. It's been a hard week.
It is.
Because it's had my eyes twitching, the neck tense. It's like I just want to go just a day without
Yep.
feeling like, why is this homework assignment missing?
Yep.
Why is this one late?
Yep.
Why is it, you sat here at the table and did this one.
Yep.
Why wasn't it turned in or finished? You said it was finished.
And I'm sure Nicole does it for you, like with you too. It's how Ashley is here is she has given me, because you know how kids are with mama.
Oh yeah.
So mama's mean, don't get me wrong, but
Oh yeah.
there is a side of mama that sad face or that cave in thing, it will eventually get them. It always does. So Ashley has given me, full reign most of the time when it comes to that stuff, because I can stick to my guns, and
Nah.
it's hugely important. And at the same time, and I'm sure you get the same boat. Sometimes, it's good because when you do get to that point, that that's it's why we married who we did. They'll see it, and usually they'll step back in and do
Yeah.
their thing. And I always tell my three here, I'm like, I might be scary when I'm mad, and they've never even seen me like fully mad, is the funny thing, because I keep my shit together pretty good. I just
Yeah.
put on a pretty good little dad routine. I'm like, I might be scary to you guys, and I might make you nervous because there's this big, bear growling around the house, but I am 100% not near as scary as your mom when you piss her off.
Yeah.
I'm like, so if Ashley sees me start brewing over the homework, and she's starting to tell it's making me fucking tired, and I'm getting to the point where I just am getting frustrated, and she can see me starting to brew. It don't take nothing for that mama voice to come in there and, hey,
Man.
right into it. I'm like, whoop.
I tell you what though, I don't know, your scenario may be just a little different because of the stepdad side. But sometimes I gotta catch myself because the girl still has daddy wrapped around the
Oh
pinky.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
So
yeah.
the girl gets away with murder. The boy doesn't get away with dropping a piece of toilet paper on the floor, on the
Well,
ground.
you want
That's
to
fucked up, you know.
it's funny you say that. So if we had Ashley talk on here or tell you, let's reflip that. So the boy might not be my blood,
Yeah.
but the boy can do whatever. Pretty much, I let the boy get away with a significant amount more than I do the little ladies, and I don't know if it's because I don't really have an answer to it. I
Well,
am I feel like I think the boy child, but here's the difference. The boy child is old enough to know
no better.
what's not a good fucking
Yeah.
idea, because he's old enough now that I'll smack the shit out that boy, and he knows it. The girls, I would, they've got mama to worry about, but at the same time,
Yeah.
they Braden stays on track
Uh-huh.
a lot better. So I think that's why I'm not as heavy on him about it.
Yeah.
The girls, you have to stay on a lot more,
Yeah.
because they get wandering a little bit more, and the littlest one just likes to fuck with me and see how pissed off she can make me, because she's been around enough where
Yeah.
the middle one's a sweetheart. She can't talk shit. She's not good at talking shit. You know what I mean? I get the eye roll and the typical, in the pout, and that's fine. I'm whatever. The little one, boy, she be on me, like if I say some shit, she be right back at me, and I'm like, all right, we're not doing this. I don't want to hear it. And then eye roll and the fucking stomp off. I'm like, oh, Lord
Well,
help me.
with the boy, I'm bad cop.
Yeah,
With the girl, I'm good
you
cop.
daddy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
I get it.
she knows all she has to do is run and have a little tear in her eye. And daddy's gonna come in no matter what it is, and you know, uh, get behind me. Daddy's got this.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
you know,
it's gonna be that way, and it's not a it's the the boy. As men, I think the way we're always gonna raise men as we were raised.
yeah,
You know what I mean? With girls, it's. I don't want to say it's different, but you don't. What I've learned so far is you can't raise a girl like you do a boy.
no, yeah,
No,
it's
there's shit I can't even comprehend on feelings and emotions. And we might come inside one day from having a bad day at school, and Ashley got smacked me upside the head because I'm over here like just fucking with them, being sarcastic, being
yeah.
me, and I can't read that it's pissing them off or that I'm being a pain in the ass. And
Well,
Ashley got to kind of remind me that it's like, because I'm like, I didn't realize that because a blue pen was a blue pen today, it was
yeah.
gonna piss you off all day long.
Well, I could tell you this because I was raised around a family of females, raised in a household of females, that I was easily learn how those signs or feelings will trigger easily. So when the 5-year old comes home from school and just moody because her piece of paper got ripped,
Right?
and I have to tell brother, look, man, leave her alone.
Yeah. Don't even go
Don't,
down that wagon.
don't say 2 words to her. Stay out of her way. And I warn you now, it's just going to get worse as she gets older.
Yeah, because they're like fucking little rattlesnakes. I'm telling you.
But yeah, it's been an interesting week as far as that. I, it's like I think you put in all those days out of school because of the weather,
Yeah.
and right after a Christmas break, so they just now finally getting back into the groove of it.
Yeah.
That they were able to sit around, be lazy, do nothing, and now you put them in that predicament. And I try to tell them, you put yourself in this hole. Now you got to dig yourself out. But um, moving on, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know we're recording this show and it will be released on Sunday.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, I can tell you this so far. So every year, whether it's the Chiefs or anybody, I always and first off, you're a baseball guy like me, so let me break down the two sides of this. So when the World Series comes up, I always, even if I hate the teams in it, I'll find a team that I want to win more.
Yeah.
And leading up to it, I will find myself, even though I don't even like the team, if the announcers start like just talking shit on one of the teams, I get so mad that by game one of the World Series, I fucking hate everything. I'm just like and I hope whoever they're talking shit on, if it's who I'm rooting for, I'm like. So I went a different angle this year because I did this with the World Series and it worked out. And I didn't watch a single fucking thing leading up to it. And I was much better for it. I felt like this weird, I don't know. That's hard to explain. So I started this last year, with the Eagles Chiefs because I didn't want to fucking hear it. I get too wrapped up when they're starting, like the analysts and stuff. They make me, I'm a fucking dork when it makes me that mad.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched anything. I didn't watch anything last year. It worked out. This time I've worn some Chiefs stuff, but I haven't turned on.
Yeah.
Usually I'm on NFL.com 45 times a day. I haven't got on there at all. I haven't got on DraftKings. I took DraftKings off my phone, so I didn't make any bets. I Didn't pay any attention to the Grammys because I didn't want to hear nothing about Taylor Swift. I haven't paid any Travis Kelce news. The only thing I've been watching is the injury reports. With that said, I am on the fence.
Yeah.
And what I like, I'll give you what I like about the Chiefs is I like the Pacheco situation here. I like the 49ers run defense right now looking like, since they've been in the playoffs, looking like they completely forgot how to stop the run. I like the way that looks. I like that the Chiefs, when it comes to Karlaftis and Jones, that side of the offensive line for the Niners is what, like, I want to say the last time I looked was like the 29th or 30th in pass rush blocking. So a lot of heavy pressure coming from that side, I think, makes for Purdy having a bad day. I like the idea of who they're going to try to match up on Kelce.
Yeah.
I like that makes a tough matchup for someone. If they take a corner off to spy Kelce, I feel good about Rice.
Yeah.
I think the enigma in the whole thing is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I think that alone separates it from the everything. What I don't like is I don't like the fact that Debo can't get tackled ever. Somehow he never gets tackled. I don't like the fact that Ayuk always seems to be fucking wide open. I absolutely don't like the fact that they have the ultimate cheat code in the backfield.
Yeah.
And at any given point, the cheat code can do cheat code things. And I think Kyle Shanahan's a genius. And
let me ask you this: on the offensive side for the Chiefs, who needs to step up and be? Because I know we got Rice, Kelsey, Pacheco, and then of course we got Mahomes. Who else on that offensive side needs to step up and have a hell of a game that kind of goes under radar?
This is why I said I was watching the injury report really well. I truly think that if Jared McKinnon is able to get on the field, he presents some interesting options. And I also think that this whole Tony situation and Sky Moore situation are very interesting. Because last year, if you remember, even if it's not Tony, maybe it's Sky Moore. Tony might not even play at all. But I do feel like, Sky Moore could possibly play a role. Somebody that you didn't name of those guys, whether it's Tony, whether it's McKinnon, whether it's Clyde, whether it's MVS, somebody out of those four, maybe even Noah Gray would be the other.
I was getting ready to say Noah Gray. He would be, to me, that guy that they're not expecting.
Yep.
And he could easily give you, one touchdown, 50, 60 yards.
And exactly. And
those 50, 60 yards will come off of a catch that will need a big first down.
Exactly.
Something like that. So I kind of I think Noah is going to be kind of that under the radar guy.
I think the dark horse here is the fact that, if Bieniemy was in the house talking, they're not talking about what all Bieniemy was in there talking about to them. What hand Bieniemy may have in something, as far as like helping maybe with some different looks.
Yeah.
He could provide them with a lot of different things that, even if he's just there for a little bit, just that offensive mind, and it very well could have been the calming they needed. But Damian Williams was not the guy in the last time we played the Super Bowls that I would have been like, this guy's going to go nuts.
Yeah.
And, to this day, Patrick got the MVP and the Wasp play got all the love, but Damian Williams had a fucking MVP game for the ages that day. And it's going to take somebody to do that same thing. But I also think if we run it right at their fucking face and have no intimidation whatsoever,
Yeah,
and and keep Bosa and Chase Young and Armstead
I
and Greenlaw off of fucking Mahomes,
I,
then
I worry
I
about the
think it's a
offensive
hard.
line.
Me too. It's hard not
I worry
to.
about the offensive line.
I think a lot of holding calls probably gonna happen.
Yeah,
A lot of holding calls, but
but what Baltimore is supposed to have one of top ranked defense. They did okay. I mean,
yeah.
they
Second half they
held
were.
their own on the line. I mean, I worry about the penalties for holding. I
Yep.
think if you get too many, you're seeing a lot of third and longs and stuff like that, or you know,
What
second and 15s and
what I
things of that nature. So big plays possibly getting called back.
right that could be killer in this. What I like is I think the road we took to get here
Yeah.
is it was a well. First off, the Miami game. I don't care if Miami was going into that game weak or not. I don't give a shit how good you are when you're playing when it's negative 15 outside.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's playing against the nature, and to get through that game, play a game in that kind of shit, then
Uh-huh.
turn around and go to Buffalo and play the
Yeah.
hottest team in the AFC that at any given Sunday could beat anybody.
Yeah.
Go into their house, beat Josh Allen, and then march into a place that nobody on this fucking earth had us beaten.
Yeah.
Go in there and do enough to smack them in the mouth.
Yeah.
Now you're going against a team that almost lost to Green Bay.
Should have
One
lost.
fumble, one fumble and two bonehead fucking go for it calls
Uh-huh.
is the reason you're here. I think this whole thing is going to be how Brock Purdy plays.
I think Chiefs need to try to contain McCaffrey.
Oh yeah,
There's
spy on him the whole time. Let
yeah. I
Debo beat
think
you. Let Ayuk beat you. Don't let McCaffrey beat you.
basically what you did to Lamar, you got to do
Yep.
to McCaffrey.
Yep. Having Willie Gay
I
healthy and back is huge.
I would prefer you have Purdy beat you with his legs than McCaffrey beat you with his legs.
You want Purdy to beat you with your legs, and you force him to throw the ball because
the secondary for the Chiefs, my God, they're playing lights out.
and that's
Defense
what you.
alone won that game against Baltimore.
And now you're forcing.
How exhausted those guys were. Chris Jones looked like he couldn't.
He was done, man.
He was finished.
Well, and now you're forcing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to call Purdy a game manager. You go to an NFC Championship,
Yeah.
and if you don't your elbow doesn't go the fucking wrong way 90 degrees,
yeah,
you very well win that game, and then you go to the Super Bowl the next year. The dude's the real deal.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the Chiefs defense this year literally just went into the MVP and the other one of the MVP candidates went into both their houses and beat them in their homes. And not only did it, but made both of them. Yeah, they had a big player too. That's fine. You give up a big player too. That's fine. You know what they didn't do? They didn't get in the end zone a bunch. No. And now Debo's great with the ball in his hands. He's not super route runner. And Snead ain't scared to fucking poke him right off smack him right in the face. That's a physical cornerback on a physical wide receiver. And then McDuffie and Ayuk or however they do that. I mean, they're going to first, and then Purdy's going to get blitzed a bunch.
Yeah.
And it's
on the defensive side, Karlaftis is. I think we see a potential of him having a big defensive game.
He could. He very well could. Because they're going to stay away from Trent Williams. They're coming. The pressure's coming from the whole other side the whole game. Yeah. They're going to beat up on that other side.
I think the secondary, there's going to be a big play. God, I think, if we can keep Bosa and all the, those guys from getting to Patrick, I go back and forth.
It's like I say, it's a good matchup. I think the quarterback play in it is huge. Like it's hugely important. I wonder who they're going to have cover Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Because with Lafunga or Fuunga or whatever, the super stud safety they got hurt earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to have? Greenlaw and Fred Warner are going to run with Kelsey? As good as they are, they're good at laying the wood.
Yeah.
They're not cover linebacker. I mean, I don't feel like they might be good, decent cover. They're not covering Kelsey linebackers.
Yeah.
And then if you pull Ward or one of those guys to spy Kelsey, that's
Yeah.
where I'm coming with, Rashee Rice or, because Rashee Rice is kind of like a poor man's Debo, if you think about it right now.
Pretty
They're the
much.
same. They're the same dude. The only difference is we don't run 35 jet fucking sweeps a game.
Two great coaches.
Oh, that's the impressive thing of the whole thing. Geniuses.
You
Both
have,
sides.
playmakers on both sides for both teams. I honestly think it comes down to the Chiefs if they can contain McCaffrey as much as they possibly can.
Yep.
Kind of like what they did against Lamar, and get to Brock Purdy.
Yep.
I think that I think we will have to see how Purdy handles himself. But God, it's like I can see McCaffrey busting one out.
Oh yeah.
I see Debo catching 130,
And
30 yards down and just exploding.
if you
So,
get to Purdy enough,
oh
that's
God,
the other big thing. If you get to Purdy enough, it'll keep Kittle in blocking.
Yeah,
They have to keep Kittle blocking.
Kittle will be their if they're finding Kittle, then it's pretty much a wrap, I think.
Exactly. So it's important to get to Purdy early so that they are like, we have to keep Kittle in the block.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I've been asked a couple times what I think, and I keep saying I don't know if I can give a score.
I like
for the city. I think it'd be awesome to see the Chiefs win again.
Oh, it'd be awesome. It would get the back-to-back that Brady took away from them.
Yeah. For the city, it's going to ignite this town like no other.
Oh yeah.
You can't. God, it's San Francisco is one of those teams just hard to hate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like,
if
I like them.
You put Aaron Rodgers back on the Packers, and we're playing the Packers with Aaron Rodgers. Could absolutely hate the Packers.
Yeah, fuck them.
Like, no doubt, because I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan. I think he's overrated.
Well, and he's also fucking he's on Space Mountain with his fucking ideologies about everything. You guy needs to lay off the fucking peyote.
But man, it's so hard, man. I was going to ask you who you thought.
The other thing, this is what I think is the biggest part. I think the quarterback plays huge. The other thing is if turnovers. Penalties will be bad, but if you're getting penalties and not turning the ball over too, you might be okay. If you turn the ball over and you got the penalties, you're in trouble. This is not a game where you can turn the ball over much. The other thing, now this I feel is heavy in the Chiefs' favor. You have an entire team, almost everybody on that team that starts already's done this. In the same situation as underdogs against a team that's very eerily similar, built the exact same way.
I think what is San Francisco right now sitting at what 2 point?
I think so.
2 points. I think that's where Vegas has it.
Right. Look at what they ran. They're playing
they're very similar.
Very similar. The difference in that is Hurts went nuts.
I think you have the Chiefs who came into the playoffs with a chip on their shoulder.
Oh yeah.
And now they're like, but it kind of goes back to with our episode with Mike Watson, where I said, made the comments like they coasted. They did what they had to do, got through the year.
Right now, they look like stone cold killers.
Yeah, they're like Patrick turned it up. Kelsey's turned it up. I mean, all of them turned it up,
Right.
and it's like on a different level.
And the only time you can bet against that man, you can't bet against if Brady ain't playing, you can't bet against him.
Yeah,
I mean, you can hate him. There's tons of people out here that love to hate him.
yeah,
You know, you got your Josh Allen guys, you got your Lamar guys, you got your Jalen guys. That's all good and decent, and they're all amazing. They're great, but you got Joey B guys.
yeah,
You know, but until you beat him in the big dance, the only
yeah.
one that's done it is Brady.
I'm almost.
And you know, and
You know
Joey B
what?
once, not the
Well,
big
we're
one, but
doing this. I'm almost tempted to call Watson and say, "Hey, your last pick worked out."
yeah, tell us. But I mean, I feel honestly like if I don't want to say it because I don't know, but I do feel like I honestly I feel like the Chiefs. I think they're going to win it, and I think it'll be field goals. I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be flashy. I think we'll get in the end zone, but
I go.
I think field goals again because and their rookie kicker's going to have a lot of pressure on him if it comes to the end of the game and has to make a big kick.
I think if it goes the Chiefs' way, I think it's something like 23-30.
Yep. If it's Niners way, we're going to get fucking hammered.
I think if it goes the Niners' way, we're looking at like 34-17.
Yep. We get if they're clicking on all cylinders and we come out sloppy, we'll get fucking killed. It'll be just like Tampa Bay game.
So, okay, since we're talking about Super Bowl, we got to talk about this. Usher. Are you ready to Usher ring at halftime?
You know why it's awesome about Usher? So
What's that?
I don't know if you knew this about Cassius, but Cassius was absolutely fucking in love with Usher. So every time we would drink after league ball, anytime, if you were at the landing and there wasn't an Usher song, I was shocked. And then if you remember Hyman at Just Bats when he was there with us,
yeah,
Usher, them Liberty boys love them some Usher. So I think it's just kind of awesome that's who it is. So it kind of holds that kind of in the back of my mind. It's awesome for that reason.
What are you hoping to see from him? What song? Was there a particular song?
Boy, if he don't come out and do My Way and Nice and Slow out the gate, I don't give a shit about or got me that Oh My God or all that shit. I want Nice and Slow and that and then You Make Me Want to Be the One. I want that out the gate.
Who would you like to see come out and perform with him?
There's been everybody. Talk. I don't even care. All of them. Anybody. Bring whoever you want it. I don't know. Usher. Well, you know Lil Jon's coming out there. There ain't no way they're doing and Lil Jon ain't coming.
There has to be Lil Jon coming.
It gotta be. You can't do that song and not have him there.
You know, you're gonna have. You know, if
wasn't he? Didn't he sing "My Boo"?
Yeah.
Was that him and Alicia Keys?
Was he?
Is it?
I don't. I'm gonna have to
hold
look
on. Yeah, we're gonna have to look that shit up now. Yeah, because I feel like I want to say.
Let's see. I'm about to Google it.
Yeah, Alicia Keys and Usher. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a little A Keys and some Usher doing some "My Boo."
Hey man, I love me some Alicia Keys.
That's fine with that.
I love me some Alicia Keys. Yeah, you got My Boo. You know,
man, he'll be ready to go.
You know, yeah, I'm like you. We doesn't come out singing My Confessions.
Man, these are my confessions.
Now,
I feel it.
Even also, if he did My Confessions and he had what TLC Chili from TLC.
Oh my. Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Usher Rain perform at halftime.
You know, and I heard there's
Reba, Post Malone, and
beforehand.
Yeah, who else? There was someone else beforehand.
I don't know.
Oh, God, I can't think of who else they had beforehand. But I guess Post Malone's supposed to sing the national anthem, or I get that mixed up.
I think Reba's singing the national anthem. Post Malone is the performance before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now,
And then
my
the other
question.
young lady, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. She was performing the Black National Anthem.
Okay,
Uh, so
I'm
I know
curious.
there's a lot of middle-aged women who are looking forward to this halftime show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What is your best halftime show of all time that you?
Ooh, man, I like Prince. I really like Prince. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I really like Prince
Did you
when he.
see the interview with Usher when he was
Uh-uh,
asked that question
uh-uh,
and he goes, "So Prince sings Purple Rain," and it
uh-uh.
started.
Right? I mean, I really like Prince's, and you know that everybody. I liked when Dr. Dre, Snoop, and Eminem and 50 were out there, like
Yeah,
Fat Man 50.
that was.
I loved it.
I loved it. You had
Rihanna, I was ready for Riri, but then she come out and had a little bun in the oven and wasn't
yeah.
really able to get after it too
That
much.
limited her on what she could do. I still loved what we have Shakira and
J Lo,
J-Lo.
that was all right.
I saw a lot of hip shaking on that one.
I mean, as a young man, Jay Timberlake and Janet was cool.
Yeah, that was
That was
that
kind of neat
that
back in the day.
accident was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
That
fun.
was
I'm
fun.
like, man,
Michael Jackson and his
oh,
performance at halftime, that was a good one.
you know, and it's. I mean, I don't know why, but I felt like of all the ones I ever saw, for some odd reason, I just got fucking Prince's was just awesome. I'm like,
It was.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
It was just
Everybody will go. There's a lot of people say a lot. I think Prince is probably my top of all time. It's the most memorable one that I remember. Um, it's just like Wendy. Fuck, God dang it, man.
Whitney.
Whitney
Mm-hmm.
singing the national anthem.
Oh yeah, she killed it.
So that's like one of those things will never be topped.
And hey, man, as long as Fergie's not singing anything ever, we're fine.
Commercial wise, they have
Clydesdales, I'm
flopped.
ready.
I think they have flopped on commercials lately.
Oh yeah, I'm telling, like I don't give a shit about any commercial. I just know the Clydesdales are coming. They
Yeah,
got the Clydesdales back. I'm
they
like,
got the Clydesdales back.
that's all I get. I'm like, just bring back the Clydesdales. It ain't even got to be cool.
Well, I was talking to someone about this, and I said I remember in the '90s you watched the Super Bowl commercials because you knew that the new Jordan shoes were about to be released, and that was the debut of the new Jordan releases during Super Bowl weekend.
Oh yeah, and you remember the who retired? Oh, I feel like they did like it was maybe a Jeter. Nike did like a Jeter or a Griffey
Tip
Jr.
of the cap,
Yeah, that was.
the the respect
Yeah,
commercial. Yeah,
yeah. Nike always has a killer. Like they always have something nuts. It's
yeah.
awesome. Doritos. I feel like
Doritos
Doritos.
was that's the ones.
Remember the time machine one?
Yeah. Oh, that was
I
the
don't.
best. The
I don't know
kid
what it was.
when he
Yeah.
shook his head, the guy came out. The old man was sitting there. That was hilarious.
And then I like the one with all the Hall of Fame football players when they were
Yeah,
all like the dinner and shit, and like they all ended up playing football and shit and running around.
but I'm looking forward to a good time. I'm you guys celebrating with anybody or watching the game with people over going anywhere?
No, and here's why I am not necessarily charming during Chiefs games as I've gotten older.
Uh huh.
Like I like to just my psychoness that goes on at the television
Yeah,
and me are it's intense. It's an intense thing these days. So and you know what's funny is I as I've gotten older I have become less and less of being a fan of hosting anything because then I have to clean up after people
yeah,
and stuff. So I don't really. I just kind of keep it mellow. You heard me talked about it. Like I actually was. We were bullshitting the other day, and I was like, well, and we actually was thinking about you and your woman, and I was thinking about Wood and Hubbard. But then I'm like, by the time we got that going, they probably already got something going on. And I'm like, well,
I,
one of these years we'll have to do that.
yeah, we'll have to because I know it was. We usually just pretty much it'd be us and the kids, and I mean it's just I watch it. The boy will watch some of it, and then usually he just kind of drifts off into his own world. And
Right.
but we are having. Mama's coming over to the house. She
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
come over and enjoy watching the Super Bowl with us, and
Nice.
uh, so hey, I was shocked because Mom said she was going to bring all the goodies. So I'm like, that's even better.
While we were talking about that, that's where I was going to go with this. I was like, I know we're going to talk about Super Bowl, and if we don't talk about
Snack.
best shit to eat on Super Bowl Sunday, what the hell are we talking about?
What's your favorite go-to?
Man, see, and we're fat kids. This is where we need to connect too. So, obviously, I'm the traditional too. I'm always down to fuck up some wings, and I don't know what it is about the Super Bowl, but over the years in the past is when I've decided to get super creative on my chicken wings.
Gotcha.
So like try a new flavor or something, but you always got the wings. Probably my all-time favorite. After that, man, I mean you can't not have fucking Rotel. You got to. I mean,
it's
you got
so easy to take some chips and pour some cheese over it,
and you're not bringing any home.
And then be all constipated by the end of the night.
Exactly. The little Smokies, you can't sit, everybody knows if there's a Super Bowl party, you're sitting there, pigs and blanket, you're always just, someone's going to be sitting there just fucking hammering those, just angry at the TV. Just wham, wham.
What else you got? I mean, any more
we're going this year.
Mini tacos.
Oh, yeah. We're doing bacon wrap. There's a name for them. But little steak bites.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon wrapped. Ashley likes hers with jalapenos and cream cheese. I put a little like barbecue seasoning on mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Rhett do that. Yeah, those usually go all right. That's a good one. She makes a fiesta dip.
Yeah.
And it gets fucking hammered. Like there's nothing left. I don't even think the pan ends up staying.
The lady makes a pretty good Mexican street corn dip.
Oh, yep. See, I remember the very first time I had buffalo chicken dip. Was on a Super Bowl, and I'm like, holy shit, this is all right. But man, I'm all about any kind of snack on Super Bowl Sunday. Like I don't need an excuse to eat fucking fat kid food, but you give me football and fat kid food, I'm down.
Usually, I mean, you have your basics, your handheld sandwiches, your your some pizzas and your other kind of chips and dips. But man, I think wings, Rotel dip,
you good.
Everything else, is just extra credit,
right? I always like my brother is one of these guys that I love about it. So there's always that guy, like my fantasy football draft's one that I always think of, but like there's always somebody that like completely thinks outside the box, and hits you with some like funky fucking dip, or some crazy ass barbecue, or some kind of like shit their wife threw together, and you're like, what is that? Yeah, and then you get to eating it, and like it just gets demolished, and then you're like, I don't know what that was, but get the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
One year, a girl brought Italian nachos. So she did like fried pasta chips. Oh yeah, she did like fried pasta chips, just like Cascones does, and like fried pasta chips with like homemade Alfredo sauce, and like had like pepperoncinis on it, and Italian sausage, and literally it was Italian nachos, and like Parmesan cheese sprinkled all over top of it. It did not suck at all.
Well, are you a listener to 610 Sports?
A little bit, not as much.
I'm going to ask this question because they asked this question and you just talked about an Italian type dish. Is if you were to go to a high class or a really good Italian restaurant, is it wrong to order spaghetti and meatballs?
If it's authentic Italian, yes. I feel like you need to think outside the box. You need to go with like.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
like an Olive Garden. I'm talking about a.
No, if you're gonna go to like Garozzo's, or you don't fucking eat spaghetti and meatballs at Garozzo's. You get chicken spadini.
Now let me ask you this:
Oh,
if you go to a fancy Mexican restaurant, do you order tacos?
Hell no. Not you. You order street tacos because let's be honest, tacos are not Mexican food. They're America food. I've and it cracks me up. Like I've seen, like I've ate authentic tacos and I've ate our tacos.
Yeah,
That's a whole different fucking ballgame.
yeah.
Let me get that nice little soft, barely cooked corn tortilla folds over
Just
with
the
all the
meat,
good stuff in it, and I'm like,
just the onions,
yeah, you don't
cilantro.
need all that. Yeah, you don't need the crunchy
Now,
shell and the
I'm gonna give
bullshit.
you a little history lesson. I don't know if you knew this. So, do you realize that the fried taco, the ones we use the original ones that get the toothpicks that are fried,
Mm-hmm.
was actually originated in Kansas City?
What?
Yeah.
Don't tell me it was a dinner tub.
Huh?
Don't tell me it was a dinner tub.
The
I did not know
original
that.
fried tacos originated here in a Mexican restaurant, Kansas City.
I'll fuck with some fried tacos though.
There you go.
Man, like I go to In a Tub, and you either can get down on some fried tacos in a tub or you can't. Powder cheese is too much for a lot of people, but I will get down on the powder cheese.
So, see, something you didn't know about.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
That does make
What?
sense. That sounds like a
But
Kansas
see,
City
I'm
thing.
talking
Like,
about
try a
you
fucking
go
taco.
to they have it, and all they add is they have the meat, they have the lettuce, and they have the Parmesan cheese sprinkle on it.
Yep, and then just boom, right?
And then you throw you fry. Well, they put the lettuce and the cheese on afterwards. They fold the corn tortilla up with the hamburger
Mm-hmm.
meat, stick two toothpicks through them, fry it, take it out, pull the toothpicks out, throw your lettuce, sprinkle your cheese, throw it on a plate. Here you go.
Smack hands, man. Just smack hands. So good, so good. They
It's
ain't
like the
got
whole.
I'm fucking with tamales. I don't care what name it is.
Oh well, hey, I tell you what,
You give me some tamales.
you get down here to that Mexican restaurant. I think it's Cabo over here at Independence by the hockey rink,
Mm-hmm.
and you have their tamales. Oh my god,
Good.
they're oh
I always
that
like.
that with a
I
margarita. Ooh.
Man, I always like the ones where like there's over. They call him the tamale guy.
Yeah.
Like over like that's in like in Gladstone, North Kansas City and shit. Like when they're like, "Where's the tamale guy?" and you hunt the tamale guy down.
Yeah.
His are fucking pretty good. Pretty good. And then there's that like, oh, it's out in Kansas. It's like, oh, Red Kitchen. I want to say it's called Red Kitchen or something.
Trying to think.
Hold on, dude. It's like, yeah, it's called Red Kitchen. It's
Where's it located?
It's in Lenexa.
Okay.
Man, that's what they do. It's tamales. Oh, dude, they're so good. They're not like your dad's, but they're good.
Well, God, man, now you're gonna make me. I'm gonna have to go eat Mexican food tomorrow.
Right now, I'm sitting here, I'm like,
Have me a big margarita, and sit there and just go to town.
it's funny, you think about it. It's funny, like that you asked that question about like Italian restaurants or Mexican restaurants. And this is totally not sports related. And I love it because this is pretty fucking tough. It actually pisses me off. You'll laugh this. So I don't know if you have this happen or not, but you'll have like a fucking coworker or a teammate or somebody, and you'll suggest a restaurant or they'll go someplace that like a majority of everybody fucks with, and they'll come in and they're just that asshole, and they're like, that was shitty, and you're like, and here's what it is: you'll send them to a fucking barbecue place, and they're like, well, I got the chicken Alfredo. You're like, you got what? They're like, we
What?
got the chicken Alfredo. I'm like, you don't go to a fucking barbecue place and get chicken Alfredo. I'm not going to a Chinese place and let me get the fucking hamburger. What the fuck are we doing?
I mean, I go to a Mexican restaurant. I have to order corn dogs, but that's because I got a
Yeah.
5-year-old. But
But you
then
know what I
she'll
mean?
eat the corn dogs, and she may want a side of rice. Like
Yeah.
it kind of balances itself out.
Then it
But
cracks me straight up because I'll be like, hey, go to LC's and get burn-ins. There's a reason I didn't say get brisket, get sausage, get fucking ribs. If I'm like, hey man, you want a suggestion? Go to LC's and get burnt ends. And then they come back, they're like, well, we didn't like it. I'm like, oh, cool. What'd you get? Oh, we got sausage. I'm like, my guy, what the? All right, well, I'm sorry. Go to Garozzo's and get a fucking hamburger and let me know if it's as good as, Jesus Christ.
well,
All
man,
pisses me off.
I know Super Bowl is the end of football season.
I know
And,
where I'm going. I'm ready for the next thing.
and you know what starts next weekend?
Oh,
College baseball.
I'm ready.
D1.
I'm fucking ready.
D1 college baseball. Because I'll
Yes.
tell you right now, I looked at local colleges. Avila's already played a couple of series.
Yep.
Rockhurst University has played a couple series.
Yep.
Johnson County, who has played a series. Then of course we had like Park went down to Texas to play. Shout out to Mason Danner, man. That dude, I'll tell you what, I wish that kid all the success in the world.
He's
I
a good
think
kid, man.
he's going to do some big things up there.
He's a good kid.
Yeah, very good kid. I got a lot of that from the interview. I actually had someone reach out to me and said, man, they hear what he had to say, and he said he had to play it for his kid, who is about that 15, 16-year-old, that freshman, sophomore age.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he played it for him so he understood how important it is to get in the weight room.
Exactly.
So it's awesome that he was kind of sitting there, and we got to have a little chit chat with the man. That's awesome.
And you talk about the weight room, that kid's gotten big. Like he has worked hard because I ran into him. I want to say, I bet you it was going into, and I saw him all the time, obviously, but I like genuinely ran into him and he didn't realize it's me because at the time, believe it or not, what hair I had left on my head I hadn't cut for I don't know, 2 years, and my beard was here, and so he didn't recognize me. Obviously, I mean the short and stubby part, but he gave me the look, and I didn't recognize him because he got much bigger.
Yeah,
and then when I ran into him at the first wrestling meet this year, and we talked for a couple hours, it's when it really dawned on me. I'm like, this kid's filled out. He's getting big. Like he's putting in some work, and good for him to do it. That kid's a grinder, and baseball smarts.
Yeah,
he gets it. I think that's a big part of it is the baseball knowledge he has.
Yeah,
is superior to many adults, let alone kids. So for him to be on there, and he's a well-spoken kid too. So for him to be on there, and it's good. And I hope the more this takes off, I really hope that a lot of people go back and get to see that and can show their kids that. And because that's real, man. That's the struggle. That's the we can all talk about it, but hearing it straight from the horse's mouth is there's no better person to explain it.
Now I know you're a big TCU guy, and they open up against Florida Gulf Coast next Friday. My Jayhawks open up against Illinois Chicago down in Corpus Christi.
Oh, nice.
I'll be honest with you. I'm excited to see them play this year.
Mm-hmm.
They were ranked. They had a top 10 ranking on their transfers. So kids that had to transfer in, they got some good young freshmen sitting there, going to get groomed. Coach Fritz is just God knows how to recruit. I think he's
Yeah.
gonna turn around that program. But I saw something, man, on Instagram earlier. In opening day games, there's 1, 2, 3, well, let's see, 9, 10, 11 series, opening series of
I'm right here.
Siri talking to me of
You go first.
teams that were in the College World Series last year.
Mhm.
So you got like Indiana versus Duke. You have Xavier versus Clemson, Rider versus East Carolina. You know, you got the Texas Tech, Tennessee,
Oh, there you go.
Oklahoma, Oregon. I mean, Oklahoma State, Sam Houston. Go out west, man. We got Cal Fullerton against Stanford.
That's awesome. That's story stuff there. Old
Oh,
school.
Wright State and the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana Lafayette down there. Northeastern versus Arizona. The Chanticleers
Oh, cool.
out there. Mason.
Mm-hmm.
You got FAMU. You know, representing. You know how to say this? It's like I don't want to come off wrong when I say this, but you know the historically black colleges
Yeah.
that representing. So I know there's something, man. We don't really you know, but even between you and I thing, but I do follow a lot of minority type, you know, historically black colleges and the baseball programs.
Yeah.
It is slept on.
Oh,
So
I have no doubt, dude.
if what is it, the Griffey series that the MLB picks up,
Yep.
that if people would watch that, you know, realize there's a lot of
Talented
great ball
plenty.
players that have decided to go to historically black colleges.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I don't get why sometimes they may get a bad rep. You know, it's about the education, it's about the
Right.
experience, it's about shit getting a chance to play. Like just
Exactly.
because you don't go D1 doesn't mean, or you know, you go to a big D1 school that you're not a ball player.
Right.
I
Right.
think people need to shift that narrative that uh you know, it's like I told young Danner, it's like, man, no one can take that away from you. I don't care what college you
No.
go to.
Right.
You're one of the select few that can go to that next level and play.
And you look at it and then you look at when it goes to the major league level.
Yeah,
Every single fucking year, there are kids every year drafted late rounds from this school or that school that most people are like, where?
yeah,
And them dudes are solid starters.
yeah.
Apparently, you know, you know everybody goes to the one, but that Albert Pujols guy ended up being all right. He was all
Just a little
right.
bit.
Yeah, he did okay. You
I
know,
mean, only a first ballot Hall of Famer.
yeah, you know,
You know,
if to play baseball, especially baseball, at any college level, is remarkable.
yeah,
Period. I don't give a shit what it is. And if you're at that level, it is remarkable.
yeah,
Like it don't matter if it's at the D1 level or like you said, all the way down to the JUCO to Division two to anything.
yeah,
Even independent league baseball, if you can still do it, you know, it's you hear it all the time. But when you play a sport that you can fail at, what 70% of the time,
yep.
and you're still good at it,
What
successful,
did Deion Sanders said is
hardest thing
when
he's
you
ever done, putting bat on ball.
the hardest thing you could do, and when you
Yep.
could fail at it more than you succeed and get
Yep.
paid lots of money,
Exactly.
you
And you
know
look at
it's hardest sports there is to play.
and one
So
Ted Williams said something like the hardest thing in all sports is to put a round ball on a round bat or put a round bat on a round ball squarely.
yeah,
Yeah, and
exactly.
it's I will take And it's not because I'm biased, because shout out to any college athlete in any sport that's done that. Every one of them deserves a kudos for any of it, because that is a level that any of us sitting on the couch at any age can, if they want to hate on you for it, fuck them.
Yeah.
You know, it's something that it is something to always be proud of. But I would much rather, to this day, I say this 100% wholeheartedly, I would much rather get hit by a linebacker full speed in the chest than try to hit 103 in my chin every day of the week,
That's
or
true.
have it hit me.
That's true.
I'm just saying, you know. And
Tell you what, I was looking forward to, because I had it don the new cap,
that thing's sexy, by the way.
the Team Mexico Caribbean Series
That's a
cap,
good looking hat.
and was hoping that ESPN would have it on their channels.
Mm-hmm.
I go to click on it, follow baseball in Spanish, and couldn't get it. I was
Oh, that sucks.
like, I think that's where baseball gets it wrong. It's
They
like,
need, they
here,
need world
here we
baseball
go.
everywhere on TV.
Kansas City Royals just signed
Bobby,
Witt Jr. for 11 years. Was it? I forgot the total amount.
I think it's 211, but with all the incentives and shit, can get up to 300.
Yep.
No,
I mean, I think the last 5, player option, but what's sad is the MLB doesn't get, the NFL gets it. The NBA has gotten it. How can we as Kansas City fans or Royals fans in Kansas City get blacked out and not be able to watch our hometown team?
it's fucking ridiculous.
And then you wonder why little kids are drifting off and becoming, Yankee fans, or they come off
Why do they
Red
like the
Sox fans,
Sox? Why do they like, yeah?
or San Diego Padre fans,
Because we
because
can watch them on TV.
yeah,
Because they're nationally televised.
I sit there and buy the MLB package, or I get the MLB package
Yep, every year. Me too.
to watch any team I want except for our Kansas City Royals.
Right, and then you got to go through fucking loopholes to get them on that bullshit Bally's thing.
And then, when they go even out of, market and go play the Mets or something, you still can't see them because they're still blacked out.
Yeah, they're like, it's still local. Sorry.
Well, my understanding is that Prime, or Amazon Prime, will be carrying some MLB local games, so that would be nice.
They purchased
Yeah,
the company that has the Bally's whatever contract, so that
I
they can
hope
stream. Yeah, so that they can stream them on Prime.
so. I hope we'll be able to stream the Royals.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see them, man. A lot of people don't know none of them young kids.
Which brings me, because we're both Red Sox fans.
Of all years for them to announce what they announced,
Yeah.
they're going to do it now. I'm like, you doing this now? You couldn't have done this, a couple years ago.
I'm hoping that it helps turn the franchise around. I don't understand how you're such a big market. You have all the money in the world, but yet you're treating this big market team like a small market product.
Enter what they're doing there right now. I don't like it. I don't like anything about what they're doing there. And now they are. They're
Don't get me wrong. I think they have 5 of the 100 top prospects coming up. They have 5 of the top 100.
And they're building around Devers.
Yeah, they'll build around him, but it's like
one guy.
It's one guy, and he's a bat.
Right.
They need arms.
Yeah. But they're too busy trading them to the Braves.
Yeah.
Because they need any arms.
Oh man, but yeah, man. college baseball start next weekend. I am absolutely stoked.
Have you taken a look at the Wake Forest Demon Deacons roster for college baseball?
They're loaded.
It is absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
They're good.
But
Florida is good.
LSU
LSU is good.
still good.
Yeah. Tommy Tanks.
You saw the video
Oh
I
yeah,
posted.
dude. That dude just fucking crushes.
Just absolutely rakes.
Dude just mashes baseballs. It's
And the
awesome. And he
video,
just looks like an asshole. I love it. He just looks like
it
such a
looks like
dick.
a fun asshole.
He does. He looks like he fucking slams 38 beers and then
Get
just goes
drunk.
out there and just hits tanks.
He looks, when you see him play, holes in the knees, eye black down here, just straight dirtbag.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Probably doesn't shower ever.
Probably wears the same dirty, crusty
Oh yeah.
socks
You know it.
series. You know,
Probably if he's got Levi Garrett in and he's pouring a little honey whiskey in it, making sure their flavor's there. Mm-hmm.
well, let me
My
ask you
dude.
this, because I've had this conversation with a couple guys. You remember growing up, and we kind of, like I said, I know we're not too far in age, but you remember baseball on the West Coast was where it was at.
Dude, yeah. Like Cal State Fullerton, Stanford, UCLA,
Stanford,
Arizona,
and then this,
anything on that coast.
yeah, and
Yeah.
now it's dissipated.
SEC.
Other than Stanford, and somehow Oregon State is in the.
Motherfuckers.
Like, I don't know how you get baseball players up in rainy ass, damp Oregon, but
Don't make no sense, but they're up there plenty.
I mean, shit, they had just one of the best catchers to ever.
Adley does not suck.
Adley does not suck.
Adley does not suck.
But you think about Arizona, like Arizona State has all this rich tradition. They've kind of fallen off the map.
Yeah.
You don't hear much more. Like Long Beach State was a
All
huge,
the dirtbags were nasty.
and
Weaver,
now
man.
you have Stanford. Yes, USC was an absolute powerhouse.
Yep.
God, I remember watching Mark Pryor pitch for them.
That in college was maybe one of the most insanely good things I've ever seen in my life. Also had the biggest calf muscles fucking ever.
I was getting ready to say that.
Biggest fucking calf muscles in the history of humankind. Never skipped leg day. Apparently should have worked on shoulder day.
Just the talent that has come out of USC, talent that has come out of Arizona State, and yet all these kids now want to head to the SEC when the weather is about the same. You could play all year. And now, granted, the SEC facilities are probably 100 times better.
I think the pockets are fucking deeper too.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
I think the pockets are deeper.
But I'm like, if you like to party, Arizona State is like the number one right party school since God knows when. Like,
I mean, hell, all them Cali schools are probably, you'd be shocked, probably one of them fucking toking up some chong in a heater every 30 seconds too. And
I tell you what, man, it's
you know what it is? It's the fucking pitchers. All them goddamn pitchers are on the Cali side, chonging their heaters, listening to weird music, wearing their hats all backwards, fucking growing weird plants, eating goddamn veggie sandwiches, and throwing gas.
I think what's happening is out west got to be known for small ball.
Yeah.
And then you got all these bigger colleges talking about, let's go out here and play gorilla ball.
Yep, let's launch angle this shit and
launch
back 225.
Swing for the fence, we don't care. But I tell you what, the other night I was on YouTube and just saw a video of 2 JUCO teams go at it. Absolutely was fun to watch.
Oh
I
yeah.
think a lot of people sleep on JUCO ball. It
Oh, for
is
sure.
very
For
slept
sure.
on. Now, with that said, I will say that the arms still need a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it's way different.
It is, let's throw as hard as we can and hope we hit a location.
Yep. We're walking 18 dudes, striking out 18 dudes, and somebody's jacking one 488 off me.
I
And then I'm
think
gassed in the fourth inning.
pretty much.
Yep.
I think the
Bullpen.
score. I think the score ended up being like 11-10, and it was. But I think JUCO ball is so slept on because you don't have the. I think with baseball, people forget is, especially in college, it's the crowd.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
One
I'm going to be honest, you go to Lawrence, Kansas, you're not going to get what you see at Mississippi State.
No. And it takes. I tell everyone, even it was different at Rosenblatt, and I'll fucking argue with anybody that says it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
But if you have not, even to this day, any baseball parent, baseball kid that's old enough to go, if you
Take 'em.
don't, I know, yeah, you need to
Take 'em.
get to the College World Series, and
I
you need to get to those games when it's rivals that are
mm,
playing each other there, so you can fucking sit right in the middle and feel both those fan bases and feel how fucking passionate they are when they start doing the chants back and forth to each other and stuff. Dude, those kids play their asses off because they might not get to do it anymore.
I tell you
It's
what, I
amazing.
went just 3 years ago when Mississippi State won,
Hmm? Hell yes.
and I will tell you what, Mississippi State Bulldog fans were probably the best to hang around. Vandy was there.
Oh,
Vandy fans acted like their shit don't stink.
yep. I can see
I,
that.
I get why.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Texas was there, and their fans absolutely annoy me anyway. This was the year NC State kind of got through the regionals, the super regionals, wasn't supposed to be there. Were getting hot and then got hit with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got kicked out because they didn't have enough players. And I never forget. So it caught the game the night before. So if anybody's been up there, you have Baseball City across
Yep.
from the stadium.
Yep.
So I took my boy out there. We're gonna go visit more vendors and me spend more money on hats
Oh yeah, fitted hats. If you like fitted hats, you're fucked.
and it
So
was
fucked.
kind of quiet. The morning was kind of quiet because that game wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember running into 3 NC State fans as we were walking down to see one of the locations where you could see like a picture of the trophy or like something like that. And they were pissed because the game got canceled for NC State. And they were hooting and hollering and fuck the NCAA and asked me to take a picture in front of them, the big sign that says, Omaha, College World
Yep.
Series, NCAA, as they're turning around, flipping them off.
Yeah.
Then proceeded to turn around and to apologize to my son and say, sorry, we're just a little upset. And we hope you understand, little man. And he just got a chuckle out of it.
Dude, and the whole experience, that's great. That's too funny. The whole
I
experience.
think, yeah, the whole experience.
Now I'm picturing it. I'm picturing because
That's exactly
that's the
how it
same
was.
shit. That's how I'd have done it.
The first picture was like this.
Oh yeah.
In the second picture, they're like this.
I love it.
I got an absolute kick out of it because I thought they were kind of screwed over.
Right? Yeah. I get that.
Because it's like they had pitchers, but they didn't have enough bench players.
Right? And you're like, oh, how did what?
Like that's the dumbest thing ever. But
one of
we were just easily coming out of that COVID stage in life,
right.
But oh man, I tell you what, there's a picture of my boy that I got that he's looking. We had the outfield seats, which are absolute. I always tell you, if you're going to go, sit in the outfield bleachers.
Get out there, it's crazy.
And like, I got a great picture of him overlooking the field, leaning on the rail, man. And he's just, you see
Loving
the
it.
grin, and he's just taking it in, man. And it's like, if you're a fan of the game, if you're a fan of the college game, you
Hell
need
yeah.
to make it up there.
Absolutely.
It
Man,
is.
and I remember, and it's funny, I remember like the energy we watched, it was Clemson and South Carolina.
Uh-huh.
And I remember just like them going back and forth at each other
Yeah.
and like their fans and it was a really good game.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, dude, and like just the kids, like how hard they were playing shit. I'm like,
Yeah.
and of course, they were using fun bats and you're like, fuck, this is nuts. This is so badass. And it's funny because I remember going one year, and you'll probably remember when this was going on. Let me take you down memory lane. If you remember Jeff Neiman, a Wade Townsend, a David Ardsma, and a Mr. Coach Graham, a Rice House team that
Yes.
when I was younger, I remember going specifically for that.
Yeah.
And just being fucking just dumbfounded, like geeked out
That's
by that.
another
They
program
were
kind of
so
slip.
they disappeared.
Yeah.
And and you've known me for a long time, man. I always liked TCU, but boy, I fucking like me some Rice House too. And I'm like, and that dude, I'll never forget that because I'm like, this shit. And then at Rosenblatt, dude, it was just, the whole fucking history when you got
Yeah.
up there and then you walked up the hill. Oh, whew.
I still love the fact that they kept the foul poles.
Yes, thank God.
They had the original sign. They did that little mini park there.
Yep, at the zoo.
And it's pretty neat that you can step into that little mini park and you can look over the right field foul pole and still see the dome of the zoo.
Yep.
And I went up there and that just gave me chills because that was always fun to watch games being played at Rosenblatt, the College World Series. And that view right there was absolutely amazing.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
Now I get why things change and times change and things got to be upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, downtown Omaha is we had a park a few blocks away. Walk down. It is what it is. But the experience alone for kids, if you have young kids that love baseball, absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
I keep telling them we need to go back, and eventually we will go back. It's always kind of been weird the past few years because of schedule.
Yeah.
Because
Stuff. Baseball's going on right in there, man.
But I tell you what, man, I'm looking forward to baseball starting up. I know you are. I'm sure we'll talk more about it next episode because all that stuff. Because I have tons of baseball stuff I want to talk about.
Oh yeah.
But man, I was kind of leave it at this. Willing to give a score prediction. Finally,
I'm gonna say I don't see us scoring a lot. I'm gonna say we win. Chiefs go. I'm gonna say we go 24-21.
24-21.
Yep.
I will flip-flop just because you took the Chiefs. Not saying I want them to win, but I'll say 49ers 30-27.
All right. That's fair.
I think, being Vegas, you got to play.
Right? Oh, yeah. Before we get off here, though, did you, because if we don't throw this in here, I'm gonna hate it and want to be like, God damn it. Did you see any of the kickoff to WrestleMania last night?
I saw all the highlights.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. But
I'm glad you said so because that was part of mine.
I didn't. I'm like, I can't get out. We're not. I'm not gonna get off here until I get this out of here because I have never felt as a fucking wrestling nerd more indifferent and awkward about anything as I did last night watching all of that go down with CM Punk on the fucking mic. So I'm like, okay, I love me some Big E. So we got Big E and Punk talking.
Yeah.
You got Cole and fucking Pat. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I can get down on this. You know, the ladies all come out and do their thing. And I'm like, all right, I'm with this. And then that shit just got weird. Like I had never in my life, I'm like, I ain't never heard Rock get booed that bad ever. And I'm like,
I
and you
think
know, in your head, you're like, oh, this is all playing. There's a heel turn coming. And sure as shit, there it was.
I think Triple H is a fucking genius.
Dude, I was talking to
They,
Big Mike about this earlier too.
they sat there, and I think the objective of all this was, and I'm like, if you listen to a lot of the wrestling podcasts or listen to a lot of things, a lot of this was to try. The Rock coming in was to deter
Get
all the
Vince.
negative
Yep.
press that was going on with McMahon, Vince, and Brock.
That's what I'm saying. Keep them on the back burner. Keep that
And
completely.
they have absolutely. I posted on my X page, my Twitter page, because I saw it. I don't know if you like where The Rock was promoting this Project Rock stuff.
Mhm.
Under Armour. If you clicked on any of their ads in the comments, one of the first three was "We want Cody." Hashtag We want Cody.
Yep.
Hashtag We want
Yep.
Cody. It didn't matter if I was clicking on social media, if it was a Facebook Under Armour thing, if it was a Twitter X thing, if it was a TikTok, whatever it was, anything was "We want Cody."
Right.
And I was like, this whole "We want Cody" movement is in full effect against The Rock.
Daniel
There
Bryan style, man.
is ads, his Under Armour ads doing the stuff. Absolutely had me cracking up. And I think The Rock, Triple H were absolute fucking genius.
And that's when I was talking to Big Mike earlier. I was telling him that I'm like, not The Rock per se, but Dwayne Johnson.
Yes.
If we're going as a businessman and just in general,
Yes.
Dwayne Johnson and Triple H are smart enough to know that there was no way this went without they knew goddamn well how to play this whole angle to be like, trust us. And now I'm going to tell you how I feel like this ends.
Yeah.
So that we have it recorded. I think what you're going to get, and I can be completely off base here, but tell me if you can get on board of this. I have a feeling that if you wanted to, you don't have to save Cody and Roman for night 2. You can go Cody and Roman on night 1,
Yep.
and you can have a double turn, and you can have The Rock turn on Roman at that and keep Solo and Jimmy from interfering, costing Roman the belt in a clean pin. And then on night 2, you can have fuck it. Now it's on. Everybody's back on the Rock side, and you have The Rock and fucking Roman for head of the table, and then Rock can win that, and you can go into Rock can go back to being the chief and doing his shit.
Yeah.
Cody can be the man. Roman can finally go do his movies and take some time off. And, it's the same thing with Rollins. They kind of put Rollins on the back burner, but Rollins has got a blown knee and he's going to wrestle on it.
Yeah.
You know damn well whoever he wrestles, whoever comes out of the Elimination Chamber,
I think he's finally going to
exactly, and he's going to get his time. And then you're going to let that go so Seth can go heel, Roman can go do what he wants. Everybody got the Rock pop. He's not the bad guy. We love him. He's back to normal. Cody gets a story, and then all was fucking well. And in the back of it, you got Triple H fucking smoking a cigar, saying "fuck you, daddy, father-in-law, be gone." We just orchestrated the greatest shit ever.
I agree with you.
I fucking hope to God they do it that way.
That's what I was hoping for. I was thinking that I was the same similar approach. I thought I don't think it would be a triple threat because I think that's takes too much shine off The Rock.
Exactly.
I still think that you have they have this thing, the notion of Rock is now turned heel. We got old heel Rock back,
Yep.
which was an absolute amazing fun character.
Oh yeah.
The man, I don't care what. And we've said it. I've said it. Like he's absolutely one of my favorite wrestlers. Absolutely had people still eating out of the palm of his hand.
Oh yeah. He knew exactly what he was doing. Like,
The guy is not stupid. He's not a dumb
not
man.
at all.
He's
Dude,
been
he's went
around the business forever.
and he's went on and done so much stuff, man, that this is like you can tell it's like child's play to him. He's like, oh yeah, this is
You have. I saw a little bit the announcement of what you have for the elimination chamber, like the elimination matches.
Yeah.
I think we finally get McIntyre's time to get his belt when it mattered.
Yeah, when it wasn't COVID and there were no fans.
Yeah, I think you get him his moment where he gets his fans.
And you know what you're gonna start. Which is awesome because then you can roll into that, and they're already starting to roll into it. You can get a Orton McIntyre feud.
Yes,
roll right into it.
That's where you're going to roll into.
Yeah, you can get an LA Knight McIntyre feud. You can get an LA Knight turning heel and going at Cody. There are a lot of different ways they can do this.
God, it's so hard. Part of me thinks there's going to be a play with Jay still.
Oh yeah, Jimmy and Jay are going to get it on too.
I think they get it on, but I think there's still a play, and I'd hate to see Jay fall back into that other side.
Yeah, oh yeah. And Jay
he end up turning on Cody.
Jay and Drew would be a pretty good fucking.
Yeah.
That would be pretty fun because you're going to have some, and they've had a little history. Priest has still got the Money in the Bank.
I see in that angle too. I think we may get a Drew Rollins, and you know how Priest and Drew don't get along.
Might get the cash in.
He gets the cash in after Drew wins.
Yep.
And then we have that taken.
Yep.
I think we have. I would love to see Jay win against Gunter. I don't know if it's going to happen.
See, and I wonder if that's how they're going with that and giving him the IC belt.
I think he deserves a singles title.
Yeah, hell yeah, he does.
And then I think you push Gunther to have a feud, and I think it would be with Cody.
Oh, he's got to because if Roman takes time off, Punk's already on the shelf.
Yeah,
you don't want to turn Orton back heel. Not yet.
You need someone like heel.
Yeah, and if he goes heel, people will love it all the same.
He is honestly at Stone Cold heel. You know how people still love Stone Cold Heel's character.
Exactly, and he can turn that way, and you're going to get the same thing.
Yeah.
So they're still going to do his chant. They're still going to, but you're going to have to find whether and that's what's awesome about Triple H is and maybe now with The Rock in there too, you're going to have to start getting some of those guys that you don't use enough.
Yeah.
Like the reemergence of Finn.
Yes.
It wouldn't be bad to get Balor back in there. It would be really cool for Priest to finally get like into top guy status. I think they're hard off on Dominic becoming top guy status, and I hate it. Sami Zayn at some point, Sami Zayn deserves something.
Let's see, you have Gunther with the IC, and you have who has the US?
Currently?
Logan Paul.
Oh yeah.
I think you put Sammy at one of those.
Right? Yeah. Hell yes.
Yeah, I think I think he's going to get a lot of pop. He's going to do that, and then you have the young guys that are coming up.
Yeah, and you're going to also have to fill the void of Lesnar being gone.
Yeah,
you have to have a monster, and with all of these, there's no more real monsters except for the monster getting ready to come back. and then everybody can get them hands.
Yeah.
And then and it's perfect time to make the monster bad guy and have Braun Strowman, because then you have your one big giant,
Yeah.
bad heel, because they don't have that guy no more. Lesnar could play that
I,
role, and
I I don't. Well, Lesnar kind of went both ways.
yeah, but he could, when he was a bad guy, like it was.
I think Gunther or whatever how you say it, I think
Oh yeah,
he's coming that route.
him and McIntyre, I think, are going to be top two heels in the company.
Yeah.
Like I think they're like, because I think when Roman comes back, I don't think Roman's going to be a heel no more.
No, I think he'll gain everybody back.
Solo is going to be top heel.
He'll be one.
Yep, I have a feeling Solo's heading that direction. He's got a crash course for being top heel too.
I think. God, and I watched something, like I said, I saw the announcement. I haven't watched the rest of it. I'll watch it when we're done. I'm glad you said something too, because I was going to mention it also.
Man,
that was absolutely, a lot of people going, we got played.
Oh, dude, I sat there going, for a minute, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I'm like, these dudes are geniuses.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and I was telling Mike about it when me and Mike were bullshitting about it on Messenger. The fuck of it is Rollins being a genius and just sitting back and just, why everybody else just made his title and him just look like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Just, but he also, but kudos to him, knowing his knees fucked up.
Yeah.
Knowing he needs the time off, wrestling through this, and being down, because he's gonna. I mean, I feel like it's inevitable, being down to like get somebody over in his spot at Mania. And it was gonna be Punk. Like Punk was fine, and now next year, and that's what's awesome. He can heal, Punk can heal. You keep that whole storyline stays. It kind of injury saved it. You can go into the next WrestleMania or SummerSlam or wherever you want when both of those two are healthy enough to go, and have those two just fucking get it on.
I think you sit there, and I think when you're talking about heels, I think we were kind of getting a CM Punk heel.
He's coming. That's coming, and he'll be the number one heel.
So I think that will take care of that other heel.
Yeah, because there's no worse bad guy.
I tell you what, wrestling right now is fun to watch as far as entertainment. They actually played everybody.
And
absolutely geniuses. That's why they're doing what they do.
That's exactly why they're wherever they're at.
I don't know if you ever watched it, and I was watching a highlight video of the Senior Bowl, Reese's Senior Bowl practice, or they do their scrimmages, one-on-ones. That when the UConn center, a center from UConn, basically manhandled, I think it was a D lineman from Georgia.
I've not seen it yet. Is it awesome?
It's freaking phenomenal.
I'll have to watch it.
You would think this kid from UConn against this D lineman, I think it's from Georgia. He was definitely a big boy, and he couldn't get past him.
I'll be damned.
And it got the boy so frustrated as he got a hold of the helmet from the UConn guy, ripped it off, threw it down, was ranting, raving. UConn kid acted like it was nothing.
I'll be damned.
I said, there went that stock.
Yep, that boy's going up.
But
that boy's going up.
As always, it's fun.
Yes, sir.
Any last things you want to say before we get off?
Well, when we get back to talking, we'll have to talk the draft. I know baseball's coming. We'll have to talk ML draft. Maybe one of the things we need to. This will remind me to bring it up then. But this whole Mr. Malik Neighbors sneaking up on my boy, Ohio State boy Harrison Jr.
Oh yeah.
Scouts will be talking about somebody might be a little better than somebody else now.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, we're running to the fun time of the year. College baseball, spring training coming up.
Yes.
March Madness around the corner. NFL draft.
I like to call the Major League Baseball season the year of Acuna. So you'll go ahead and second year of Acuna. We're going to do it again.
He is absolutely a blast to watch.
He's the baddest man on the planet right now in baseball.
Him.
Shohei's badass, don't get me wrong, but Acuna is a bad, bad dude.
Acuna, you have, God Lord. I mean, the MLB is, if they could just start marketing and giving the people what they want.
Dude, I'll tell you what, too, and if Corbin Carroll keeps on, I mean, I know he's a rookie, but if that's what Corbin Carroll's going to be, holy shit.
I tell you what, people better watch out for those Arizona Diamondbacks.
And Arizona Diamondbacks, and let's not forget the fucking Baltimore Orioles just kind of added a decent pitcher.
Don't,
Didn't give up any of their
studs. Just because the Dodgers have all this money and all this talent. Just because the Yankees spend all this money, have all this talent.
No. I'm still Diamondbacks and Orioles, baby.
I'm still.
Shout out to Texas last year, but
hey, you still got to go through Houston, unfortunately, to get to the World Series.
Altuve, guy.
I think the Royals are going to make.
They're going to make a run at the Central.
I think
they got a shot.
The AL West has become fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
You got Dodgers, you got Diamondbacks, you got Padres.
Can you imagine the AL West if DeGrom stays healthy?
Lord.
I mean, everyone forgets that he was not even a part of that.
I will say this. I'm going to start collect athletics gear now.
Oh yeah.
Because it's going to be keepsakes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's only one of the sickest fucking logos ever.
Yeah.
The old school elephant is money.
I have been hat shopping. Both of us have a hat game.
You know what? I almost busted out tonight, but I went with the sweet ass Sasquatch.
What's that?
We almost busted out the elephant Modesto A's hat. The green and yellow, or the green and gray. But
I saw one that absolutely made me think of you, and I got to find it and send to you. I pulled it up as a new area. I think it's called the Clink Room.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I lived there.
Clink Room had, maybe you haven't or seen it.
You see a Frenchie Bulldog hat?
With the FU on it.
Uh-huh. It's Frenchie. Yep. It's funny you said that. So this morning I was sitting at work and I sent Ashley a picture. Here. This is fucking hilarious that you said that.
Have been absolutely. I can't wait because the minor league new Copa hats will be coming. Yep, that's it.
Sent that to Ashley this morning, and then that Lions hat. Me and my Lion. There's a.
Yep.
I'm like, dude. So yeah, oh yeah, dude. I feel like if people literally
do a hat edition.
Exactly. If people just tuned into this. If people just tuned into this just to see the hat game,
well,
it would be the ultimate challenge. It'd be like, bring your hat game.
I had one of these when they came out, when they first started, when I was in high school, and I found it with a patch.
Oh, that's money.
Hold on. 30 years.
Ooh.
Get a little closer. 1993.
Very nice. Circa.
When 1993, when they came out, I had this exact hat.
And you know who else wore that hat? Name drop Orestes Destrade. You're welcome.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a hat episode for sure.
Yes.
Because as you can see, I'm slowly with my pile of Team Mexico hats.
That's a good looking hat.
You see them back there.
It's funny we're talking about hats. So you see this Sasquatch hat?
Uh-huh.
So a few episodes ago, I wore the black and white one.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I'm obsessed with them. So now I have the teal one coming from. It's a place called Noble North. Shout out Noble North. But
yeah.
They do like their little limited hats like Clink Room does.
Uh-huh.
And they always have a new Sasquatch. And it's a different color. And they like limited run them. And I fucking have to buy them all.
Well, man, I'll tell you what. I have run an obsession with the El Paso Chihuahua hats.
Yes, they're awesome.
It's gotta have the dog head on it.
Yep.
Of course, I have and I'm finding more and more of them. I just hate that I cannot find them in my size. I have an obsession with Kansas City Monarch hats.
Those are badass.
And I have two. I have one I've never seen back there. I wore a couple when we did with Mike Watson.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the original, like the game hat that they would wear. And of course, all my Red Sox hats.
Oh yeah. See,
Now,
I've got a good Red Sox hat when we get going. It's pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. So definitely have a hat episode.
We need to get Mr. like you're talking. We need to get Brian Hubbard on here.
Oh.
And as I have a game we should play as we discuss things. I feel like because of all of us and our random sports knowledge, I feel like the challenge of when we have Hubbard on here is we do the episode, we're completely bullshitting, doing our thing, talking about whatever, and we have to randomly throw a random baseball player or football player name out from any time.
Oh yeah.
Just out of nowhere as we're talking. So like we're going on and I just say, hey, Pete Lecoq really had it going on, and then we just go right into what we're doing. Because I'm telling you, between the three of us, it might be fucking solid gold. Because I can only imagine what Hubbard will fucking throw out here.
Well, I will tell you this, man. I know I saw a sneak peek of the BP hats coming out.
Nasty.
I'll tell you what. They had the Pittsburgh Pirates old hat with the stars.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I'm at the cop that.
Yep.
The Royals one looks
absolutely. Royals one is clean.
I'm still looking for some old Cincinnati Red looking hats with the guy.
I want a Padres hat with the fucking Padre on it.
Yes.
I've got a clean Padres hat. I want the one that's got the actual Padre. Now I've seen some, but yeah. I'm super particular about which one I get.
Yes. I have seen in a particular hat store I kind of go through that I have sitting a nice little Cincinnati Red one and a San Diego one, kind of what you're talking about. But you have to have a certain amount of money, like you have to spend a certain amount to even get them to ship to you.
Oh yeah, like a hat club. Oh yeah.
So just come hard with.
I tell Ashley that's my number one thing. So like before we get on every episode, I got to go through every hat and see what we're going with for the episode, and then always got to have some kind of random T-shirt on. So like if it's Tecmo Chiefs or you know random jerseys, like I love it. It's part of the fun of it.
The Autism Berserk jersey.
That's a good one.
One of my favorites. And I was like, I almost wanted a different one. But it's time to go ahead and wear the Mexico.
Gotta go Mexico hat.
Oh, and I went to back to go look and try to get another color, and I knew I should have bought it all just right then and there.
We might have to go and find our crustiest old Berserk hats. I don't know. I have one that I'm not sure I can put it on my head anymore, but I sure will try.
I'd have to look because there was quite a few I had to get rid of. It was white and it turned cream.
Goddamn right it did. Yes, sir. I was looking through the other day and I found the last remaining and only Fear the Beard hat with Hobbs and the crossbones or the crossbats.
Oh,
it's got the sweat rings all on top and shit. I'm like, ooh.
Well, with that, man, till next week, man.
All right.
Here at the Banter. Oh yeah, forgot to give shout out Birch Bees.
Birch Bees, shout
out. So we're just still one episode. We're just gonna have to randomly shout out just random stuff. We gotta build this to conglomerate or something.
Everybody, just everything we like.
Yeah, like hey, I like these, alien AirPods.
Yeah,
shout out to them.
Right.
Man, let's say hope Super Bowl goes great for Kansas City. And anything else, baseball season started. Man, it's gonna be a fun episode next week and watch a little WWEs. tonight and Monday ought to be interesting.
I'll tell you what.
But-
Next weekend, big thing for the boy child district wrestling.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
well,
So
of course, we have all that stuff too.
mhm.
So that we're out of here.
Later.